really, really blessed and honored to be a part of. So anyway, without further ado, because I'd rather let this man talk about it, one of the co-founders of Quadio Mother Freaking Media, Mr. Joe Welch.
What's going on, yo? Appreciate the invite and appreciate that intro. Also, huge shout out Eve, absolute legend.
For real.
But I'm pumped to be on here. Appreciate you bringing me on.
Dude, like thank you for coming on and sharing. So, straight to the generic question: what is Quadio Media?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, high level, Quadio is basically a new social network that aims to champion college creativity. So basically, the high level is that there's just so much talent on all of these campuses. I mean, you're a prime example of this. And basically, we just want to create this ecosystem, this platform, but really this whole ecosystem around that talent and around, empowering these college creatives to, give them the opportunity to pursue this creativity to their fullest extent, maximize their potential while they're at school to potentially, pursue it after school. So basically, a new social networking platform where you can find other college creators to connect with, to collaborate with, just to kind of, make friends with around shared interests.
And it really is that, like, just going through the app itself, it's extremely user friendly. It doesn't feel like you're treading heavy water. It feels almost, I don't know, like innate, if that's the right word. It feels very natural.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, we appreciate that. Shout out the UI UX team. I didn't have much to do with that, but they crushed it for sure.
So I heard a rumor that the app came from Cornell students. Is this true? Where did you go?
So I went to Williams. So basically, Quadio was founded by me and my cousin Marcus. And so Marcus went to Cornell. Marcus is the CEO. I handled kind of the community side of things. But so Marcus went to Cornell. I went to a school, Williams College. It's like a super small school in Western Mass. But yeah, I mean, so basically, so I'm a producer, like EDM side. I'll definitely shoot y'all some of my music after this for
Please,
sure.
dude, yes.
But so I mean, basically, just like high level Quadio, like kind of what inspired a lot of this is that, so like I'm a producer, right? But I can't sing or like anything else really. So I only have that half of, a piece of a full musical project. And so when I got to campus, like I was pumped to meet a ton of vocalists, a ton of instrumentalists, all these people to work with. And it was just like so much harder than I thought it would be to find the right people to work with, to complete my music, stuff like that. And then it wasn't until senior year, I took this songwriting class and like, I met these, like some of the most, talented singers, musicians, like that I'd ever met. And it's like, I had been on campus with you for 4 years. Why am I just now finding out about you senior spring? Like imagine the type of music we could have made. So that was kind of like a big like turning point thinking about this. Like you should be able to get to campus day one and just like know about every single creator around you just to be able to maximize your potential so that, no one has to be in that situation where it's like you want to make music, but you just can't find those people on your campus. So now ideally you can just come to campus day one and just have this network that you can tap into.
This is literally the first act of the social network.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for
real. One, really good movie. Two, like,
Great movie.
dude, that really sounds okay. You guys hit it on the nail, man. Like seriously, you guys really hit it on the nail. So in the past, you guys were doing these cool tours where you were going from campus to campus?
Yeah. So I don't actually know if you met with anyone on campus. It seems like maybe not if you talked with Eve, but yeah, so basically, so we launched our first beta product in January of this year. But ahead of that, we were basically, we had this kind of like road warriors team. We called it. It was 6 of us. And we basically just traveled the country going from campus to campus to campus, just meeting with artists and kind of showing them like mock-ups of what this platform might look like, just to kind of hear feedback, but also just like, try to build the community before the product was even out, so that when it came out, like we'd already have, people willing to use it and try it. But I mean, that, I gotta say, like, I think we went to CalArts. I think we might have missed you, but it was just like we knew there was talent at school, like we knew it. But after going to all these campuses, it was like, oh, like, enlightening moment there, just like how much there is out there, like how many talented, like psych majors, econ majors, people who maybe don't pursue it full time, but just have this like crazy talent where like if they had the infrastructure, maybe, who knows, maybe they could pursue it. So that was just a really cool experience. Just like, it was honestly just incredibly inspiring, just seeing how many talented creators there are at schools just all over the country.
Was it I have this question in my head. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. What was that? Try and go back. So because I know what it's like to start a project and then finish it and it'd be amazing, like it go off really well. That's just for a song or an EP. But to see that you're one of the minds behind something that, and like, I don't know how many users Quadio has, but to see that you're the mind behind something so grandiose, what does that feel like, dude?
I mean, I definitely appreciate those kind words, but I mean, kind of the way we think about it is, it's like, it's always, thinking on that next, the next thing, and like, how can we make it better? How can we, keep evolving, keep revamping things to make it a better experience? And like, at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, at my core, like, I just love making music, and like, just selfishly use the platform for my own music. In that sense, it's like, it's the coolest thing of all time when like I put a work in progress out there and like I meet a vocalist that I didn't know before. So like, I don't know. I think the coolest thing for me is just like being like selfishly being able to use the platform like for my own music too. Like I have a lot of collabs going on with like people on the platform, like vocalists that I would have never met before. So just that kind of aspect is like, it's just cool, like, being able to use this tool like for what it was, set out to be. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but I think the coolest thing is just like always being surrounded by these creatives and like just constantly being inspired by it.
True. I mean, that's the biggest thing. That's what. Okay, homogenous societies have historically been extremely beneficial to the type of people that they're built around. There's a saying: if you surround yourself around 5 millionaires, you'll become the sixth. If you surround yourself around 5 great artists, you'll become the sixth. To be honest, like I tip my hat to Ashray just because he's one of the 5 that I personally surround myself around. Like, don't get me wrong, I can sing my ass off and then some. But Ashray Hari Shankar is definitely one of the best pianists and composers I've ever met.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. And I think like I'm pumped that you're in the songwriting club and you're enjoying it, because I think that's one of the biggest values of that too. Is just like surrounding yourself with all these talented people and like learning from them, growing from them, that kind of stuff.
So, was there ever a moment where you and your cousins met a brick wall or an obstacle, and it really got to you? And if there was, how did you get over it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I guess like, I don't know. I mean, one thing about like going to, all of these campuses is like, it sounds great, but there's obviously going, not everyone is going to totally, vibe with the mission and stuff like that. And so like, there were of course times when you'd go to talk with people and maybe they wouldn't understand it as well as some other people and stuff like that. And like, that that's always like, it's never fun. It's like in sales, when rejection, it's like never fun. And like, all that stuff. Like, but I think for us, like in terms of like what helps us get over roadblocks, it's like, it's always just coming back to that mission of like championing college creativity. Like we've seen how much talent there is out there, and how how we can maybe make a little bit of a difference. And so it's like whenever there's any roadblock or anything like that, it's just like coming back to that mission, like, okay, if we can persevere through this, like, if we can get over this hurdle, like we can truly potentially make an impact on some of these creators' lives. And it's like for us, I think that's just so powerful. It's just like going back to that mission whenever anything gets tough, like, this is why we're doing this, just like refreshing on that.
And you guys have gotten over some really impressive hurdles. I mean, I personally don't know how to go from university to university. And then
Yeah.
there's Quadio Records and acquiring this distribution, and then a collaboration with Splice. Um,
Yeah, I mean, there's
what's
definitely been some
next?
cool stuff. Like huge testament to just like the whole team, like the growth team with those partnerships. The Quadio records, just incredibly impressive. All just blown away every day by the work they do. But in terms of what's next, so like actually, so since the platform has been out, we've actually been able to kind of like understand a lot of data about how it works. And so like right now you kind of see how a lot of the focus is around the streaming aspect, but kind of what we've seen through the data is that one of the aspects of the platform people really vibe with is the networking and the connection and the chat and stuff like that. And so looking ahead to like early 2021, you'll hopefully see some awesome revamped updates that push the platform more in that direction. So more around like the connection and the networking, and less around like, the direct streaming aspect. So we're pretty fired up about that. So keep an eye out for that. Some cool updates coming, hopefully early 2021 on that front.
Heck yeah. And what about for you as a producer? I can understand what it's like to work on a much larger project that is outside of being a producer, and sometimes getting a bit sidetracked.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely have dropped the ball on quite a few collabs. I can't lie, and like I'm trying to do well prioritizing my time, but it's definitely been a little tough. I mean, it's just like the coolest thing in the world though, to be surrounded by all these talented musicians. Like as a musician myself, like very average below below average producer, like being surrounded by these people who are so talented, like definitely elevates my game too, production
Yeah.
wise. So I'm trying to stick with it as much as I can, but of course, time prioritization is never easy.
Man, who do you look up to in regard to other artists and producers?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, so I'm a big EDM guy. So like Elenium's always been one of my favorites. Just like the way he captures emotion and like the big synth drops, like with the big kicks, I think is insane. Um, so Elenium, I'm trying to think like, yeah, I guess honestly him, like that whole squad, like Elenium, Said the Sky, Davin.
Damn, I don't think I've ever heard of this.
Oh,
I'm
definitely
googling
would.
this right now.
I saw
Yeah,
Lenium.
for sure. Check it out.
I actually saw Lenium live last year.
No
right
way.
here. Yeah, it was fantastic. And,
Where at? What was the venue?
it's this nightclub called Time out here in Newport Beach in
Wow.
California. Here. So yeah, he was yeah, just it's the first time I saw. I'd been to that venue. First time I'd been to see Lenium live. One of my friends is like a huge fan, so we were just like going nuts in the center of the
Nice.
venue.
What are you an Elenium fan as well?
Yeah, well, now after
Nice.
being there, I'm definitely, all in on Millennium and Set the Sky. Like all those artists that you mentioned, like there's so much music out there, and sometimes you kind of get stuck in the music that you're listening to at the moment, and sometimes it's really nice to get pulled out of it and,
Yeah.
into different worlds that you didn't realize existed.
Totally.
So yeah, I'm really, I actually just joined Quadio, so now I'm like really excited to get
Yeah,
started
bro.
working
I,
on
I
it.
Nice.
had
Let's
I had
go.
slid him that dime bag, man. Now he's a full-on addict.
Oh
Unreal.
my
Let's
god.
go.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I know a lot of my friends from my undergrad are actually a part of Quadio and have been doing some really cool stuff with Quadio. And I'm coming from, a very small school, and CalX is also a very small school. So I totally get the, kind of feeling of, oh, I don't really you know, I can't believe I didn't meet this person like, you know, soon enough. And we didn't really have an infrastructure to, you know, to actually have collaboration going on between, you know, people who should have been collaborating in the first place. So, you know, having
Totally.
something like this is totally, you know, helpful, I think, especially now with COVID. You know, we can connect on
Mhm.
a level, you know, beyond just like colleges and schools and
Yeah.
anything else. So, you know, I was wondering like how you feel about like this particular situation we're in with COVID and how that might, you know, that changes, if anything, if it changes the way that you've collaborated on Quadio or changes the way that you've thought about your, you know, about how you're going to move forward with it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's a super interesting question. Obviously, you know, it's been kind of a roller coaster time. So like one of the big things is that we were planning on doing a lot of events, which of course, you know, with COVID we can't do. So that was definitely not ideal at the beginning. One thing that has been really cool though is that like since COVID happened and or is still obviously happening and you know everyone is just kind of like seeking social connection in a sense. That's kind of was some of the reasoning behind these songwriting clubs that we started to try to just kind of bring people together, like, you know, just have this creative force in your life even while you can't really connect with people physically. And so that's been a really cool thing. So we started our first one, we had the summer one, and Chris, I know you were saying you were in one, but so we started the summer one this past summer and like just got super great feedback on it, and it was just like a really inspiring time. And so that's kind of one thing that COVID has, you know, brought into the table for us is just like, okay, you know, maybe we can create these like virtual club experiences for people that have seemed to kind of really resonate with people. So, I mean, you know, as anything, there's, you know, pluses and minuses to any situation, but it's definitely been kind of a roller coaster. But, you know, I am grateful that we started these virtual clubs because it seems like the audience is really resonating with them.
Dude, they are, man. Like, I'm in the fall songwriting club now, and I gotta say, your boy Johnny he's the best,
legend.
dude.
Absolute legend.
He's the freaking shout out to Johnny really quick.
Shout out Johnny, big shout out Johnny. I mean, he basically like put most of that together. Like he absolutely crushed it.
Wow. So man, I'd really love to keep in touch with you. And unfortunately, we're out of time for this segment. Thank you, Joe. By the way, dude, you have the same last name that I do.
I know, I noticed that. Unreal. Love to see it. But yeah, man, I mean, I really appreciate you having me on. And just thinking of us like means a ton to all of us at Quadio, and you know, just the kind words. You know, it means everything. Like none of it happens unless, you know, people like y'all are into it. So we really appreciate it. And yeah, would love to stay in touch.
I'm happy that you've got some time for the little guys like us.
We're into it because it's cool. You know, that's how it works.
Yeah, unreal. Well, cool, y'all. Well, yeah, again, appreciate your time, and Chris, excited to dive into some of your music too from the fall. I'll try to get some of those.
I'd love to get a beat pack from you if I could, dude.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a Slack. Maybe we can get a collab going. But
right,
I have to say, I've been notoriously bad with keeping up with them, but we can get one going anyway. See what happens.
All right. So this next song is coming to you from our girl Andrea Turk. She is my classmate for the musical arts experimental pop major at the one and only Cal Arts. This feature is with NC17, also known as NJ. Shout out to my girl Andrea Turk, and shout out to my dude NJ. Call me later.
All right.
Come on.
Do some prodding.